Welcome back to Captain Toad. So now that we took care of Wingu, now it's time for crown capture in Wandering Woods.
Even though it said the hunt continues, so we are gonna eventually kill and eat Wingu, right? I mean, just to put him out of his misery.
No. That was the only boss in this book.
Wait, really?
Kinda
Interesting
weird.
that it's not at the end of things.
Yeah, usually
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
have
Considering the final boss of the original base game.
For the final level, we have a not as hard version of the Grandmaster Galaxy equivalent, basically.
All right.
So are you actually gonna complete it this time?
Yes.
So when we get to doing Mario Galaxy itself, is whoever's playing that gonna do the Grandmaster Galaxy?
You're the one recording them, apparently, so you should ask yourself that question.
Okay, Self, are you going to do the Grandmaster Galaxy? Yes, Self, I am.
You're apparently very good at that, so...
Thank you. I mean, hey, I was able to do Silver Surfer without doing cheats.
Alright, let's see. So yeah, once again, I have to find 5 crowns. I'm trying to see if I
isn't
can...
it such a romantic, starry night?
I guess.
Unless those are fireflies.
This is the grave of the fireflies.
No, please.
Keep that out of this. This is wholesome and happy.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like Adventure Time, and it's like Mario's world is actually a post-apocalyptic world, where everyone is actually a mutated being. God, that was weird.
Well, considering how Mario looks compared to the rest of the citizens of New Donk, probably?
Remember, Shuri, he came from Brooklyn. New Donk is just a city that looks like his home city.
Keep in mind also that the citizens of New Donk apparently were still used to having a giant ape like Donkey Kong Senior, well, Cranky in that case, running around and everything. So.
Uh-huh.
Oh, jeez, getting all those crowns must be a pain.
So many boos, so many boos.
So little time. Well, it's a good thing it is not timed. So.
Alright, let's try this again.
Oh, since we're not tied to the bracers, they respawn.
You know, it depends on if we end up releasing this before E3, but there is something of an idea I had.
What?
I wonder if maybe at E3 this year, Nintendo will finally announce what they're doing next with Mario. Like, they do have quite a things they could announce with their E3.
I don't know.
Personally, I would really like...
Considering the many releases and the future schedule that Nintendo has right now, I'm not sure we're gonna talk about Mario just now.
Personally, I really want to see Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, that too.
Because we haven't seen anything from that yet.
Didn't that
I mean, Platinum Games keep telling that everything is going fine and everything, but we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
Also remember, Joe, that despite the amount of games that center around the Mario series that's actually released, there is quite a gap between the mainline games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, heck, sometimes the system only gets one big Mario game per system.
Honestly, considering how early Odyssey came to the Switch, and considering it's doing so well, remember the Wii U was a very different story. I think there will be another mainline Mario game much later down the line.
Yeah, the main explanation for that
that's why the main
is
theory is like, well, a lot of people think we're gonna get a sequel to Odyssey, you know. Kind of like, you remember the last time we had a very good selling consoles with the Wii? We got 2 Mario Galaxy games on that. And considering how well Odyssey is selling, and also the fact that we are confirmed that there was a lot of cut content that could practically make its own new game.
The primary reason for that, Shuri, is that Super Mario Odyssey actually started development as a Wii U game because back in 2013. No. If you go back to 2013 interviews, back when Super Mario 3D World came out, Koizumi did say in an interview that they were already thinking of early concepts for their next big Mario game. This was already basically while the primary programmers and designers were finishing up Captain Toad. the more creative leads, plus Koizumi, of course, were coming up with the base concepts for what would eventually become Odyssey. So technically, Odyssey started out development as a Wii U game. My guess is, since Nintendo pretty much gave up on the Wii U because it was selling like crap, they moved the development to the Switch, and that's why it was able to be a launchier game, because most of the work was done during the Wii U years.
Oh snap! Dark copy. Basically, for those who are familiar with Galaxy,
it's kind of similar to Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild forgot 90% of its development cycle was a Wii U exclusive. It was only later that they started to make it cross-gen. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. For those who are not familiar with Galaxy, essentially, starting with Galaxy, you would get these shadow clones of yours. They're named a bit differently.
They keep following you around, so it's better for you to not stop.
You have to go for all the floors. You have to go for all the floors and survive.
Without letting it touch you.
Well, you can get touched once, and you'll just become small toad. But
you know what I mean.
Is this a short one, or is this the equivalent of that 150 floor?
No, it's the shorter one.
Is there another one of those stages in this game?
There is. It's part of the bonus book it's from the base game. It was even in the Wii U version originally.
Oh no. I meant if there was another one attached to this, but I guess not.
No, this is the final stage of this DLC.
But, okay, back to the talk about there being a possible sequel. But yeah, again, sure, all the more reason why it wouldn't be too amiss to maybe expect a sequel, considering how, let's see, Odyssey came out like, only 3 years after 3D World when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow. I mean, I guess it makes sense that the gaps...
technically 4. 2013, 2017, that would be 4 years.
There is, but yeah, true. 4 years. But yeah, even still, though, that's like way shorter than the usual gap between Mario games, except for the Galaxy games, so... Yeah, I mean, wouldn't be too amiss to expect a sequel of Odyssey, especially if, they get to reuse a lot of the assets from the first game. Like, for as tough as video game development has gotten these days, in some ways it has gotten easier if you're reusing assets. And mind you, developers, that's not an excuse.
Well, I think if the assets look good enough and, they work, then why not?
Well, yeah. Super Mario Odyssey, you can tell it's using an enhanced version of the engine and assets from Super Mario 3D World, because if you take a look at, say, Captain Toad's model in Odyssey, you can tell it's literally taken straight out of the Captain Toad game. So, but 3D World was the first ever HD Mario game, and it was used as the base for Odyssey to make development easier.
I tell you,
remember, it started development as a Wii U game, so it made sense to use the same engine. Later on, when it switched to the Switch, they spruced up the graphics a bit to take advantage of the hardware, but it was still technically using the same assets and engine. So it's quite possible that the next Mario game that's going to be made from the ground up for the Switch probably will look even better than Odyssey does.
There we go.
And there we go.
Die! I hope the second game out of it, because it's still baffling to me and a lot of others that Odyssey doesn't have DLC.
Oh, it actually follows you.
Well, Shiroi, it is baffling considering how they made the DLC for Breath of the Wild. I will agree with you there.
It really does feel like they're prepping for a sequel at this point. I mean, because there's been so much incentive for them to make to make DLC content that it really does feel like that. And it's not like it's asking too much of them, because they love doing this sort of stuff anyway. And look at them making DLC for Captain Toad, a game that is well older. Yeah, my money's on the sequel.
My guess, Shiro, is that after the success of Odyssey, Koizumi and his team were given full creative freedom to just do what they wanted, and I guess they prefer to do DLC for this game instead, because this is kind of their pet project of sorts.
Yeah, honestly, from what I've heard, the concept, Odyssey was just the most random thing in the series in terms of creative process.
Pretty much.
It's let's do everything.
Because why not?
I mean, hey, let's give Mario costumes. Let's give him... Well, hey, we don't even need to give him power-ups this time. Instead, let's give him a new hat.
Like, they even designed the dresses to fit him.
I know, right?
Like, it's not just Peach's dress, it's like...
Yeah, the other dresses.
They tailored it specifically.
I love how we can now see that there are multiple dresses that he can wear now, thanks to DLC. So, from what I can understand, the main gimmick of this level is to, I guess, bring the rest of your crew. So
bring back all the Toad Brigade, apparently.
No, you don't have to bring in the brigade. Because all bringing the brigade does is give you coins for every step they give. As you can see, they give you a coin for every step they give. However, if they die, they just die.
Where'd Green go?
He got killed.
He says that so nonchalantly.
It's okay, Jova. Remember, we have 99 lives. We're fine.
Poor Green, though.
It's a Toad, Jova.
True.
It's Toadist, I know.
It's the entire purpose of the brigade members is to give you extra coins. They're not even mentioned. Like, even if you finish the game with this level of all the brigade, they'll just be there. They won't even be part of the victory dance or anything. So
that's right, my yellow spider slave. Pick up all those coins.
Isn't the yellow one who's always sleeping?
Oh, the yellow one's dead now.
Yeah,
so he's finally being useful.
Yep.
And now
he's now been put to the eternal rest nap.
Yeah. Now he got benched again.
Could you imagine? Well, actually, I can't.
He got benched permanently.
I can't imagine Toad with the Infinity Gauntlet. He has no fingers to snap.
Exactly. Well, he does.
Well, I did see a piece of art earlier that made the Infinity Gauntlet one of the wheels on the protagonist.
I'm gonna see if there's fan art.
There's the blue Toad.
But
I'm sure Waluigi would like to have the Infinity Gauntlet.
I'm sure he would.
It has to do with development cycles in general, because it's very common for Nintendo to have games because they have long development cycles.
I've gone for the head.
Speaking of Wario and
Hold on, go on, Pedro.
Oh,
Since they have long development cycles, there tends to be a lot of Nintendo games that start development in one platform, but then they end up being moved to the next one, because it happened before. Because even though most people played Twilight Princess on the Wii, it was actually meant to be a GameCube game, and it still released on the GameCube.
It came out originally on the GameCube, actually.
And fun fact, when Tantalus remastered Twilight Princess into the Wii U, they remastered the GameCube version.
Yeah, because the Wii version was made to suit right-handed folk.
Yeah, and in the process made Link right-handed, even though purists will tell you that Link is actually left-handed.
Yeah.
So, fortunately now with the Wii U remaster, Twilight Princess is now back properly as it should, with Link being left-handed.
Admittedly, in the Wii version, it makes sense since you're using the Wii remote.
You can choose, actually, the Wii U version. I think.
Yeah, I think you can mirror the world, I think.
Yeah, that's because the Wii version was entirely mirrored around, in order to reflect that. Instead of just making Link right-handed, they flipped the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny mentioned in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I wonder if they're gonna announce any new Smash characters for D3.
Well, most likely, Jova, don't worry.
Crash.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of hope for Crash here. Of course, now just because Devil May Cry's got a Switch game, everyone.
If Joker made it, I don't see why Crash can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Crash has a good shot. And hey,
more of a shot than Spyro.
Yeah, we still have yet to get that inevitable Spyro port. Like, we know it's coming to the Switch. It's been one of the worst hidden secrets ever. In fact, Switch ports tend to be terribly hidden secrets.
Well, Nintendo UK were the ones that leaked it, so...
Sure that.
So, Fag Car Division, I guess.
Also, this is not a good day for the Toad Brigade. Like, but two of their members have died viciously.
Speaking of Nintendo, you know one thing I miss?
What?
Then parts of Nintendo Directs where they cut to the people in charge of whatever continent you're watching the Direct in.
Did they do that?
Well, they still do it from some
they
time.
still do that, I think.
Yeah, like, I remember when you watch Nintendo Directs from Europe, they cut to what was the name of the guy who used to run Nintendo Europe?
Shibata.
They cut to Shibata giving news mainly for us European folk.
Yeah.
I guess now you can say that...
While America would get Reggie.
I guess not. Well, now we don't have Reggie anymore.
He's very active on Twitter these days, though.
His body has been ready plenty of times, but now his body's taking a rest.
I gotta say, it was really...
His body's ready to retire.
I gotta say, it was really sad seeing him step down as president. Like, you know, Reggie has just been the man since the GameCube era.
Not to worry, guys, though. We're now under the auspices of Bowser. I'm sure you'll do a good job running it.
I guess. It's funny seeing this...
Maybe he wanted to retire on top.
Yeah, that too.
It's funny how, well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, Reggie is 15, you know. I guess he didn't want the job to, you know, kill him before. You know, it's really is sad, though, seeing how the old guard are gone. Like, Iwata's dead, Reggie is retired, and Miyamoto is nowhere near as much in the spotlight as he used to be.
Not to mention, Miyamoto doesn't do the directs anymore, like, unless there is a specific reason for it.
Has he?
I guess, to be fair, that may have to do with the fact that Miyamoto is getting really up there in age. Like, kudos to Miyamoto for living to such an age despite being a game developer, which is one of the most stressful jobs ever in Japan. Like, holy heck. I tell you, you're always...
Into that, of course. Oh, it's that crown, Jova.
Yep, that crown indeed. Super crown? What are you doing? Oh, with Toadette here!
Hey, sis, how you doing?
She has the... What are you doing with the super crown here?
Also, what do you mean, sis? They're a couple.
What are you doing with that crown? Be careful, that thing has unlimited power.
Remember, Dwebs, Toadette is supposed to be Toad's Princess Peach.
So what you mean to tell... Wait, let me guess. This was all built up to New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
However, Shiroi, here's the thing. It kind of makes it sad in hindsight, Shiroi, because Mario at the very least does get a kiss once in a while. Toad has yet to get a single kiss from Toadette.
Yeah, you know, Toads don't seem to mate with kisses from what we've seen so far.
Besides, how can they kiss? They got giant mushrooms on. They got giant balls on their heads.
By all means, Jove and Dwebs, teach us about the Toads' mating rituals.
They mate
Use your imagination.
They mate like we do. They just can't really kiss because of their giant hats that they always wear.
Yeah, but look, that's what I said. They got them giant heads. How are they supposed to lead it?
Well, I can see it happening if
they just have to tilt their heads a little bit.
If they tilt their heads a bit, it's possible. They just they have to work a bit off it, but it is technically possible.
I'm sure there's fan art of this somewhere.
The RPG also confirms that Toad can have families with children like that, so yeah.
But we are not going to discuss the logistics of
Do we even need to, honestly? I don't think it's necessary.
And so, once again, Captain Toad saved the planet.
Instead, let's talk about how this DLC keeps making the game awesome, please.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Super Crown! Where'd it go?
Part of the game.
It fell into the... There you go.
There it is.
So let me get this straight. This was all building up...
And you unleashed hell upon the internet.
So, this... Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Normally, these Toad games are a prequel to what's to come. We already
established that this game is a prequel to Odyssey.
Hold on, let me finish my theory. The DLC ends with them finding the Super Crown. One of the cut bits of content was Bowser. People have been asking for Bowser in a Super Mario Odyssey sequel. Oh my god.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Gio, would you be surprised at this point?
But hey, that's just a theory.
Shut up, stop now.
Oh god. Gio, no, let's not go that far.
This down. This has been
fun.
Shut
up, stop talking, cease and desist.
But yeah, I guess it's just a reminder that the Super Crown is indeed canon now to the main Mario universe.
Yeah. Bowser is canon.
No, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Alright, final thoughts on this DLC.
I really enjoyed it a lot. It's basically more of the same. However, I love this game in general anyway, so more of the same is fine by me. They did manage to introduce the spinning maze gimmick, which is the one new gimmick introduced in this DLC, and it's a pretty cool gimmick anyway. So it's also fine, and it was nice to them to put a new spin on the Wingu boss battle, and it was nice of them to also give the lesser skilled players an easier version of the hardest level in the base game. So just to get them to feel accomplished in their own right, I guess. So nice as well. It's a short but really sweet piece of DLC. Hopefully not. Will there be more DLC? Personally, I think we've had enough, Captain Toad. I think it's about time the developers move on to something different. But I guess it depends on what they actually want to do, because this DLC was made because they wanted to. So I guess it depends. Go ahead.
Look forward to Captain Toad 2.
Fine by me. Anything made by these developers, I will buy, regardless of what it is.
Heck, even if they come up with a different kind of minigame, because this is how this started, I'd be fine with a game based off of that if they could do it.
Do you want a minigame based off the jump rope from Mario Odyssey?
No.
My ideal...
Why not?
In my ideal fantasy world...
If it's anything like the jump rope in Superstar Saga, then fuck off.
Oh, no, sure. We were talking about the one from Super Mario Odyssey.
Which is worse. Go on, Pedro.
In my ideal fantasy world, these developers would make a spiritual successor to Donkey Kong 64, since it's one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games. But that's just in my personal fantasy world. Go ahead, Dave, move on.
But yeah, my thoughts on this game. Yeah, generally it looks all right. It's just I'm not sure if it's something I'd play. But hey, short and sweet, I guess.
Simple and clean, would you say?
Well, Jovi, you know me. I wouldn't quote that franchise if I... Anyway.
Just go with it.
No.
All right.
I'd rather go away. There. Done. Next.
Shirei.
All right. Well, I don't have it on the Switch yet, but... the game, since I played the entirety of the base game, it's a lot of fun, and this seems like it's pretty much the same. It's, there's not really much to say about it, really. It's just fun. It's a puzzle game. I mean, what more can you really say about them?
Mm-hmm. It's puzzling.
I will eventually get it for the Switch. I just, because I haven't had my Switch for very long, I just kind of gave priority to games that I didn't already own, technically. So eventually I'll get back to and actually play this DLC myself.
The primary reason I got the Switch version was because of the upcoming DLC. Go ahead. Teo, I guess?
Yeah, pretty much the same thought as Pedro. I really enjoyed this DLC. It really cements this game, and I'm really surprised how it keeps getting content. But I also agree that it's time for the developers to move on, even to a sequel, mind you. Like I mentioned, I wouldn't mind if Koizumi's team basically used this as sort of a cushion between major Mario releases, or even, like it was mentioned, another new minigame mechanic, something like that, that's sandwiched in between, that helps up easing at the time, but also provides a decent challenge, like it has been shown, for example, in the last couple of stages. So yeah, definitely a worthy addition to the game. Java.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, just like the game. I'll say this, the DLC increased my enjoyment of the game. What more can I say? I mean, it's more of a good thing. And it's very rare where you have an occasion where you can have too much of a good thing. Like, it doesn't feel like it's oversaturating anything. I mean, it's been a while since we've had Captain Toad Treasure Tracker anyway. I love how it builds more on the lore with the characters other than Mario. That's nice. I guess, if anything, I wish that maybe we could have had a more climactic ending. But then again, now that I think about it, Toad had to traverse through an entire tower. For some reason, the Super Crown was locked away. Why was it locked away? So I guess in some way you...
Because somebody saw the future.
I guess you could consider that the actual climax. Like, Toadette has found the ultimate treasure. I mean, and the fact that the Super Crown is in this game now means that it's part of the main continuity, which are the 3D games, so, oh boy. Looks like the Super Crown won't be dying with New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe like a lot of people thought it might. It should be interesting. But yeah, this game was fun. Looking forward to what comes next. Please let it be Super Mario Odyssey 2.
We haven't gotten to Odyssey yet.
Anyway, see ya for whatever this team makes next, I guess, maybe.
Alright.
See ya.
Next time.
See ya.